Today, everybody, we're going to be getting into a very much so highly requested video here on my channel as of recently, and that is jumping into the meta a little bit further, and that is an updated version of my Brawl Stars balance change wish list, and I think we definitely are in need of it. I've been seeing a lot of people commenting that this meta is currently broken. There's some things that definitely need change. One brawler in particular, we'll be getting into that later on in today's video, but what we're going to be going over specifically are the brawlers that are in desperate need of nerfs. There's a few brawlers running rampant at the moment right now, and I think I know exactly what to do to make them a little bit more balanced and the meta a little bit more smooth moving forward. So hopefully you guys are all pumped up. Let's get straight away into it. Here we go. Alright everybody, so the way that we're going to be organizing this video today is much like our previous videos outlining the meta and going over balance changes that I think would make the meta a little bit more balanced. And I shouldn't say I, because your boy Ray doesn't play a whole lot of meta-based brawlers or anything like that. So whenever I do a video like this, I always have to reach out to my pro player buddies out there to give me really fantastic feedback and input on the video that you're about to see moving forward here. So big shout out to you guys, you know who you are. Thank you so much for the dialogue. We were chatting for probably a good hour on different things that would change if you switch around this brawler. You'd be surprised how much things can change, almost like a domino effect. If you just change one specific brawler, a lot of stuff can crumble in its wake. So big props to the Brawl Stars dev team for always providing us a pretty solid meta each and every time. So without any further ado, we're going to be starting off with number 5, my 5th most needed nerf in the game. So starting off with the 5th most needed nerf for this next upcoming balance change, and that's going to be going to, what a surprise, Jackie, guys. Jackie is insanely OP. I'm sure you guys all remember when she was first released. She was a nightmare. You'd hop into a 3v3 game mode and it felt like she was running the whole entire thing. The game was in her hands, and that's never what you want when a new brawler is released. Now since then, she's kind of dumbed down a little bit. She's not insanely crazy anymore, but still a formidable brawler in the meta, that's for dang sure. Now in my opinion, even though I just said Jackie was very good in the meta right now, I feel like she's just on this borderline. One more small tweak and she would be balanced in the game. Right now there's a lot of different brawlers that actually counter Jackie, but in hand a lot of other brawlers that Jackie absolutely destroys. Any 4-tap brawlers or 3-tap brawlers, they're done for. She has insane attack speed. She's able to rattle off those shots really well, but I think a simple fix would correct Jackie, making her a little bit more balanced, and that is a tweak to her gadget. If you guys have played up against a Jackie with her gadget compared to not with gadget, you guys will notice the difference. It's very easy to keep your distance from Jackie, being able to box her out, getting into really good matchups, but the second you allow Jackie to use her gadget and go wherever she wants and take out whoever she wants, then you lose control of that lane and Jackie just runs over everything. Once you lose control in a lane, everything kind of goes haywire trying to get back to lane and get some control, especially in 3v3 game modes. So honestly, I think a very slight nerf to Jackie's gadget would be in order, and I think it would kind of mellow things out with her moving forward into the next meta. We'll have to see what happens. So our 4th most needed nerf moving forward here is going to be going to Ems. Now I'm sure you guys have noticed in the meta while you're currently playing, especially towards the middle trophy ranges and above, I would say like 400 all the way up to that higher competitive play like 700, 800, you're always seeing Ems in competitive 3v3s. She's pretty dang good in showdown, and it all comes down to her controllability. She's a really good brawler whenever you don't know who to bring into battle, right? She's very versatile. You can use her as a gem carrier, you can go in lane with her, she basically does everything and counters a lot of different brawlers. Even before Ems received her gadget, I felt like she was a really good brawler. She's able to take out those tankier units, she's able to deal that damage at a very long range. She's basically an all-around good brawler. She can do a lot of different things in the game, but when she received her gadget, one of the best gadgets in the game, it made her insanely overpowered. Ems's biggest weakness is whenever brawlers get inside, they get in really close, and having a gadget that literally corrects that big weakness is insanely good. So Ems at the moment doesn't seem to have a lot of weak points as of right now. Nothing to really exploit or try to get in and try to work over the Ems in a certain way. If she has gadgets, it's really hard to move in, and she has that range to deal a lot of damage at a distance. So the main question is how the heck do you beat an Ems? Most of the time in competitive, you have to bait out the gadgets, and if you have a really good Ems player, they're going to save those gadgets for really opportune moments. movement. So a lot of the time it just comes down to trying to get rid of Emesis gadgets. So I think that's a big problem. Honestly, there's really not much you can change about Emesis gadget that's going to do a whole lot. I know she has other benefits other than just the kickback, but the kickback is the thing that makes it insanely overpowered. And in the last set of balance changes, she had one of hers removed, and that's the biggest source. But you can't give her just one use of the gadget. I feel like that just isn't right. 2 is probably the lowest that we're going to see from gadget usages in the game. So I think something like an overall attack damage decrease would be appropriate, so she's not so formidable up against those tankier units. I mean, it seems a little unfair to have so much range as well as incredible DPS. And then another change that I think would be really, really good is nerfing her health a little bit. Guys, never underestimate a health nerf. We've been shown the light on how good a health nerf can be. And if she has a little bit lower health, it gives you more incentive to go in. It makes Ems as a character less forgiving, so when you make it on the inside, even if she uses the gadget, you'll have a better opportunity to take her out, as well as on top of that, it's going to give the Ems a little bit more incentive to use that gadget earlier on, which is probably the best way to counter Ems. Get rid of the gadgets, then take her out. So I think something as simple as a health decrease as well as a damage decrease, one of the two or maybe both, we'll have to see. So moving along to our third most needed nerf in this next set of balance changes, and that's going to be going to BB. Again, not that much of a surprise. Ever since she got that boost in movement speed, being one of the fastest brawlers in the game, especially if you have the first star power, she is insanely good. The DPS is there, the health is there, different things such as her gadget to have some sustainability on the map while you're going in, as well as the second star power, having a shield. You can use her in a lot of different ways, and with the movement speed, you'll be surprised how good movement speed actually is. I think there's one of two ways to make BB a little less crazy in the meta right now. Number one is removing what you already gave to BB, except at a little bit less of a percentage of what she was given. You don't want her to go back to the same state that she was in. You want to keep her buffed a little bit, but maybe do like half of the movement speed of what she was at. The movement speed is just so much to handle. The jukes, the dodges, especially if you're playing up against a good BB, it is insanely hard to go up against. And then as for the alternative, the second way you could nerf BB, in my opinion, would be to her health. A slight health decrease, I think, would correct a lot of problems. Right now, BB is a little bit too forgiving. You can go in there, guns a-blazing, speed in there. You can normally take out at least 1 or 2 people if you're really going ham. Couple hits, you got your super, you're whipping out a lot of DPS. But if you have a little bit less health, then you have to kind of second guess. You don't want to be that BB that's just running in there dying constantly. And if you have less health, it becomes a little bit more of a threat of happening. So I feel like that health decrease, in my opinion, I feel like is my favorite change to BB. I like her speed. Speed's a lot of fun, and it brings a different dimension into the game. It allows you to become a little bit better at juking shots and that fun type of gameplay. So let's switch it up. Health decrease, keep the movement speed the same way. Moving along to number 2, and oh boy, that's going to be going to Rosa. Guys, Rosa, I feel like, is always close to the top of these tier lists that I do here on the channel. Rosa, ever since she was released in the game, has been insanely good. And again, it just comes down to her fundamental mechanics. Having a super that reduces so much damage coming in is insane. The health on her, but what came when she got her gadget was insanely game breaking, and that is being able to create a 3x3 group of bushes on the map wherever you want. It allows you to basically control your lane very, very easily by making bushes on like really specific choke points so that you can get on the inside of the brawler where Rosa shines and then take out the brawler in your lane. And even we're seeing Rosa's being able to use her gadget to be able to move into one, controlling her lane as well as the mid if you place your bushes right. And in extreme cases, in the hands of a very good Rosa player, if you put bushes down on specific maps, you can literally control the entire game. A runaway Rosa, which you never want to see. So inherently, if the problem is lying in the gadget, I feel like the deserving nerf is definitely in the gadget. So I think a really appropriate change, something small but I think very impactful, would be a 2x2 square of bushes. This way you have to pinpoint a very, very ideal location. It's not just this big group where it works in a lot of different situations. Maybe in some circumstances you have to use 2 gadgets to create a really good choke point with bushes, and then it eats up a little bit of time to get your plays down and stuff like that. So I think just a small tweak to the gadget, 2x2 bushes. And then number 1, my goodness guys, it is Sprout. This definitely wasn't a surprise to anyone who is watching this video right now. I'm sure when you first clicked on the video, you knew that number 1 was Sprout. There are so many things things that need to change about Sprout, in my personal opinion. I feel like it's been a really long time since we've had a brawler like Sprout where it just kind of shook the meta a little bit, because we're introducing new mechanics like wall creation and being a lobber and having really good DPS, being that lobber and healing stuff. There's literally not much that's weak about Sprout, where if you're taking a look at Jackie when she was first released, really OP, she's really simple to fix. But when you have a brawler like Sprout, you have all these foreign mechanics that you really don't know what to tweak about him, i.e. we got a nerf to Sprout, 3 separate nerfs, and he's still freaking OP in the meta right now. And what I said previously in a most recent video, just kind of playing through gameplay, kind of going through my mind of what would work on making Sprout a little bit less impactful in the meta, and that would be a range decrease. There's something about being a lobber and having insane range. I know we have range on Tick, but there is a huge downside to Tick, where once you get inside, you're able to take him out very easily. Where Sprout, it's hard, one, to get inside with the range, as well as he's really good at keeping people away from getting inside. He's got a wall that he can put down anywhere, keep them away, as well as you just hit auto aim. The bounce shots are very forgiving. You can manage to, in a lot of cases, kill the person that's coming in on you. And not even to mention the gadget. Guys, I could go on for days. If someone makes it on you, you just consume some grass, eat some grass on the field, and you're good to go again. You got 2,000 health in the pocket. So yeah, I would say a range decrease is probably my favorite one, but there are so many other nerfs that you could give to Sprout, even 2 at once or 3 like he had not too long ago. But I could also see maybe a gadget number decrease, so 2 usages at one go, so he is a little less forgiving, so you can actually go in and not regret it getting consumed by the grass, having 2,000 HP. Maybe another nerf to the super duration, so the wall doesn't stay up as long. Maybe a decrease to the reload speed, so he doesn't have as much ammo, so you can get in a little bit easier. I don't know. It's the only one I'm a little bit uncertain in. It's not the fact of what to change about him, it's what shouldn't you change about him. There's so much things that you can nerf to Sprout, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, those are the official 5 that I have for nerfs on our list today. But next, like I said in the beginning of the video, I would like to briefly go over some honorable mentions on our list. So our very first honorable mention is going to be going to Gene. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are surprised about that pick, but I feel like so many people sleep on just how good his mechanics are. Gene has always been really close to the top of the tier list when it comes to overall brawler rankings, just because his mechanics are insanely good. He's got a way to overturn a match entirely with one move if you're able to land your super, and in my opinion, landing your super is really easy. Gene is known as an auto aim brawler. You just have to get into a certain range and then you hit auto aim, and you're going to be able to hit the opponent that you're going for and get the super very easily. So I think Gene is in a really good spot right now, and I think he could, or I should say, I wouldn't be surprised if Gene got a small nerf in the next set of balance changes, but we'll have to see moving forward. And then our final honorable mention is going to be going to Nita. Now, I had a hard time putting Nita on this list, but I was in the back of my mind thinking there's so many different brawlers that have been up on this tier list for ages, and Nita has been up there for a really long time. And since she got the gadget that allows you to stun anyone that gets in range of Hyper Bear, is devastating. It's such a good gadget. So I think Nita is in an even better place now. So I think she could use a little bit of work, a little nerf in the next set of balance changes. Seeing other brawlers move to the forefronts that can fill the shoes of Nita would definitely be ideal, in my opinion. But that's all I have for you all in today's video. My recommended wish list, my wish list for the next set of balance changes, Nerfs edition. You guys, I've been hearing a lot from a lot of different people saying that the meta that we're currently in is in like a little bit of a rough state, just because there's so many unpredictable things, such as gadgets being released into the game, a very overpowered brawler that we just released not too long ago in Sprout. But I feel like a very quick balance change, which I assume is going to be coming up in the next May update, I think we'll correct it. So we just got to sit through it a little bit longer, and hopefully some of these things can make it into the game once that balance change does come around. We did a nice healthy balance meta, take a little bit of strain off the pro players. But again, I just want to reiterate that the Brawl Stars dev team has done a fantastic job and is continuing to do fantastic jobs when it comes to the metas. There's a lot of variables with the brawlers we have in the game. We have 34 different brawlers, 2 star powers on each, a gadget for each of them. It's a pretty rough job to keep everything moving smoothly, so big props to them. But I've been rambling long enough. You know your boy Ray's been rambling when he's talking super fast. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to slap a like on it. Really appreciate that. And with that being said, everybody, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.